What is Kanban and how do teams use it? Hey there, my name is Josh Vector and I'm one of the founders at Product HQ. And today we're going to talk about Kanban. If you worked in manufacturing, software development, or project management, you've probably heard of it. And perhaps you've wanted to know more about Kanban principles and practices, or you're wondering how they could be applied to help your business. And we're going to dive into that and more. But first, make sure to subscribe to our channel so you can get all of our future videos on how to become better at product management. So let's go ahead and jump in. Kanban is originally from Japan, and the word Kanban itself is Japanese for billboard or signboard. And the concept's originator, Taichi Ono, was an industrial engineer at Toyota. They implemented the Kanban system to better compete with American auto manufacturers. There were two features in the original Kanban that became very influential in manufacturing, IT, and software development, and knowledge work. The first is called just-in-time production. With just-in-time, the company keeps on hand only the inventory needed to fulfill current orders. This lowers the cost of housing inventory until it's used. And this is a key concept in lean manufacturing. The second was the use of Kanban boards. These boards were visual representations of the production workflow process, and the visualization allowed Toyota to streamline its manufacturing process to become the giant it is today. And people in other industries began to notice and adapt elements of Kanban to their own industries. One of them, David J. Anderson, is credited with creating the Kanban method. Anderson's method built upon the work of a number of management and productivity theorists. He developed the Kanban method's principles and practices. Employing these principles and practices, Anderson thought businesses would be able to improve by making small, organic changes to what they were already doing. By managing these changes, their products or services would get better with time. And the Kanban method's principles fall into two categories. They are change management principles and service delivery principles. The change management principles are start with what is done now, agree to pursue incremental evolutionary change, and encourage acts of leadership at all levels. Let's take a look at these a little further. The Kanban method avoids wide sweeping or disruptive changes to the work process. Instead, companies employing Kanban use their current systems as foundations. And this is start with what is done now. They recognize where those current systems work to bring the company success, but they also see areas where it could be remodeled for better performance. And once everyone is clear on what needs to be improved, they make a commitment to pursue incremental evolutionary change. The changes are incremental or small ones because big changes fuel resistance. They also make people fearful about the certainty of their role at the company. And finally, the company lays the groundwork for employees to perform acts of leadership at all levels. And there's a shift in company culture toward greater trust in employees. They're given more opportunities to take ownership of their roles. There is recognition that management isn't the only place that can show leadership. On the service delivery side of the equation, companies that use the Kanban method make their customers the center of their operations. And the first principle, focus on customer needs and expectations, helps them create systems that let them understand their customers. Because they have this knowledge, they're able to serve them better. And the second principle, manage the work, involves the creation of company-specific policies that empower employees to innovate, improvise, or take risks. And they have the space to devise means to solve customer problems. And the third service principle, regularly review the network of services. Employees of all levels consider how their products and services could be improved and work to implement agreed upon solutions. And these Kanban principles are supported by 6 practices the company must carry out. They are visualize the workflow, limit work in progress, manage flow, make process policies explicit, implement feedback loops, and improve collaboratively. Each of these steps allows employees to see their work in real time. They know what the current projects are, where the work process is being slowed down, and they can get together to agree on the ways to resolve bottlenecks in their process. Managers and companies who adopted the Kanban method report improvements to several parts of the workflow process. And one of the first benefits is it is adaptable to almost any industry and any size of business. It breaks down workflows so you're able to see the processes as individual moving parts. And it lets you see where this process isn't working well so you can take action. Another benefit is that it helps prevent departments from being overworked. You may have even worked in such a situation yourself. One department was doing the majority of the work, even the tasks that weren't theirs. And this is while others had lighter workloads. This imbalance becomes obvious with the Kanban method because it is visualized. Managers and business owners now have the option of redistributing the workload. And Kanban also results in increases in efficiency and productivity. Going back to our example of the overworked department, maybe too many work orders were being sent to that department. Managers and business owners can now identify why this is happening. They begin directing work orders to less burdened departments. They can mandate that only certain types of work requests be sent to that department. And eventually, the company will begin to see increased efficiency because they took those steps. And because they aren't overburdened with work, well, that department now becomes more productive, and innovation and agility becomes the hallmark of these companies. Remember, under the Encourage Acts of Leadership at All Levels principle, employees are empowered to use their own inventiveness to solve company and customer issues. If you ever had a mix-up with your order at the coffee shop, you probably wondered why the manager had to be called to resolve the issue. Well, under the Kanban method, a cashier would have the ability to make restitution. And over time, the decision to give workers more independence improves team morale. It also improves company culture. And there you have it. You should now have a better understanding of Kanban's history, what are Kanban principles and practices, and some more insight into how Kanban can improve your workflow, productivity, and efficiency. And if you found our content useful here, make sure to go ahead and like the video, subscribe to our channel for future videos on product management and how to become better at product management. And I'll go ahead and see you on some of our following videos as well. Cheers.